3, 2, 1. And we are switched to our lovely faces. And let's confirm. Yes, we are good. So, Hot Glue Hotcast episode. I don't know. I kind of lost count, even though we didn't do so many. But yeah, it could be 6, I think.
Yeah.
Could be 6. Yeah, with first ever guest on the show, Shadowborder Cosplay. Oh, for me, this is for me, you, and then another one is Shadowborder.
Okay, I need to like.
Yes.
Oh.
Correct. So, first time ever guest on the show. This one was planned last year, 3 weeks ago. But yeah, kind of stuff happened. But yeah, you were already intended as the first guest, so why not pick it up from there? So, introduce yourself. Who are you, and how long have you been doing cosplay?
Okay, my name is Finn. On social media, I do my cosplay stuff with the name Shadowborder Cosplay, and I started building armor in 2016 to 17. It was December. It was between the years. So yes.
Around Christmas, you were crafting. It's discovering this new hobby.
Perfect time.
Yeah, I've been in love with that for longer because I'm from Kassel, where Konichi is happening every year, so I know it since school, but I never really felt like I should do this as a hobby. But then at some point, it was just my time.
Around Christmas is usually good, and you can start like, oh, Christmas, I want tools. Oh, your camera is a little bit out of focus.
I'm sorry.
Focus me.
Like, so how did you get into cosplay?
I just visited Konichi every year, and that was the only con I've been to at this time. And I met a person there, and we stayed in contact. So I always saw the cool stuff going on her page, and thought I kind of want to do it, but I'm also afraid of doing it. And so I took a long time just looking at pictures of cosplay armor and armored artworks or in-game stuff, and yeah, that was the point where I got into that, when I was just talking to that person a lot and seeing a lot of the stuff.
There are a lot of people that always are looking, and it takes some time to get like used to that they don't want to start yet. You hear that a lot. That then some people just never leave that segment. It's like, yeah, I've been looking at cosplay for like 5 years or 10 years, but I never started it. I want to. It's like, just do it. Just buy some stuff and do it. So we got an active chat already. Aloha, guys. Yeah. You got it up as well?
Yes.
Can you see it? Okay, cool. So we have the mighty Overwatch dwarf in the chat. We got W Cosplay and Lucas from District, and I can't see avatar props. I need my glasses. I can't read. With a beanie and thing, it's like, that's better. Oh, I'm not a dwarf. The Torbjorn. Wayne, your mic is a bit low compared to the others. Oh, no. Let's I am. Do you guys hear that too, or am I low?
Not for me.
Huh.
So all fine. Liars.
Well, no, he hears you just fine, so I don't know. Maybe hold on. I'm switching to the scene where That's us. And let's see if I can boost myself a tad bit more.
Okay.
User settings. No.
We have 10 viewers. Yay.
Yay.
It's the first time we hit 10 viewers.
Oh, really? We broke
Yes.
a record. Awesome.
Yeah, but 2 of them are us, I believe.
Shh. Don't ruin it. No, well, my mic is actually all the way up in the stream thing and on Discord, so I don't think I can boost it even anymore, even if I wanted to. Well, nothing I can do about it now. Let's continue the podcast, and we are in screen again.
Just talk a little bit louder.
Yeah, I have no problem doing that.
Yeah, scream at us.
So, all right. So that's how you got into cosplay. But when was your first, and when and where and what was your first convention, and what cosplay did you wear?
My first convention I've been to was we skipped school that day and we went to yes, we did.
What?
And yeah, we went to that really cool thing going on here in the park, and yeah, we was just looking at this and we instantly met 2 really kind people we spent the whole day with. That's like how you all know cosplayers and conventions, you instantly meet people. And yeah, we just walked around and said, okay, for the next year we're going to do something very cool, something very special, and the next year we did Vocaloid. Yes, and it was out of old clothes and old fabric glued together one day before the Saturday of the convention. So yeah, nothing really changed.
Do you have a photo of these?
Oh, I could check it out.
I really want to see it. Now I'm curious.
But you skipped school. Oh, think of your children. We have such a big role model here. Avatar props is saying we all want to see it.
Yes. Add it to the roasting.
Yes, man, I wish I looked for that up before, but I totally forget about it. Maybe it was just for saving myself from that, but yeah, how I started it.
If you can't pull it up, because I can't pull it up now without going back. But what I can do is we can talk about it, or you can roast yourself, and I can post it in the YouTube edit, like straight onto the thing.
Definitely. Yeah.
We're waiting.
I tried to look it up, but I can tell my mom she always said, I want to be a sewer. So she had, I think, 3 sewing machines and a box full of fabric, but she actually never sewed anything. And this is where I've stolen all the Len Kagamine fabric for my cosplay. I maybe have it on my phone. I'm sorry for checking my phone right now, but
that's fine. We won't judge.
We're not professionals.
No, I think I've been being very professional, making a stream layout and chat boxes like next level.
Yay!
You were surprised at the new animated GIF if somebody follows the channel. If
somebody please follow.
Yes, that you can see. It's
wait, I can follow.
Oh, you didn't, Jed?
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
Oh yeah. Oh no, the GIF. I forgot about it.
It's literally just somebody with a glue gun dumping hot glue, and someone says, "Hey, somebody else." Oh, of course.
I couldn't resist.
We actually looked it up because I just found random ass this GIF on Google after I wanted to have a picture of somebody followed, and I was like, okay, a hot glue burn GIF, and that one was on the first page, and I showed it to her yesterday, and she was like, where is that from? So we actually looked it up, and it's this Orphan Black season 2, and it's this crazy lunatic lady in a crafting room where she ties up a guy and it's like, I know what you did, I know to tell me the information, and the guy's like, I don't know anything, and she grabs the hot glue gun and is like on his chest, and he's like, oh my god, burn it. I was like, perfect, we need that for the show.
That
hot glue is hot.
watching it really hurt.
Yes.
We all know the feeling.
Yes, not here on my chest though. I've never had hot glue here. It's usually like here or here, but not
Yes.
here.
I say, putting a glove on and glue the hand armor to your hands with the glove.
Yes.
I still have a really bad scar somewhere from, like a really bad burn. Don't know, it's somewhere on my arm. What? Yeah, that one really stung. It tore some skin off, and I was like,
Wow.
cosplay, yay!
Oh, shit.
I love this hobby.
Oh man, I can truly say I never really heard it myself doing cosplay. The only thing was like this glove story where it was uncomfortable and warm, and sometimes you do have hot glue on your whatever, but I never cut it myself or did anything with like the Dremel or something. Lucky me. So far.
Never enough to get you into the hospital.
One time I had my my heat gun going. It was still hot, and it was just on the ground, and I sat down on the heat gun.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Can we have a gif of this, please?
No. I just make one.
Yes, heat gun is hot.
Heat gun is hot, yeah.
hottest.
The hot.
No, I had it. I think I had something similar with the heat gun where I just put it on like the click mode that you can like have it standing and facing up, and then it was just on, and then I held like props above it and circled it, so it was on for a long time because I was heat sealing the entire armor, and then I was done. I turned it off, but I like put it like next to me here, still facing up, and then I was still crafting and stuff, and then I just moved, and my like elbow bone came like, and I was like, it's like, oh man, just thinking about it. It's like,
Why are we doing this all?
I don't know. Apparently we like it, but
Cosplayers love pain.
yeah, I guess so. And that pain comes in several forms, physical and mental.
Yes. Keeping yourself away from just having a normal holiday. No, take every holiday in the year that you have for one single weekend where you're basically working and standing on your feet the whole day.
And then you're at a convention. It's like, oh, why am I so tired?
Mm.
I don't know.
I have no idea.
No idea. So we're talking.
I'm really, yeah.
We're talking like our biggest burns and painful, hurting moments. But since we have a lot of people in the chat, feel free to share your painful stories, and we'll continue talking, and we'll segue into your painful stories. So go ahead if you have any. There. No, wait. It's right there. I had to switch it because of. Like, yeah, I had to switch it, otherwise it would interfere. So it's actually below Finn.
I'm really afraid of burning myself with the new stuff I got from Dremel.
Oh, what you got?
Versa tip, like for soldering and wood burning.
And
And
it's gas powered.
where's the yes, and the other one too. Where's a flame?
Ah,
It's like a blowtorch.
no.
I use the
That
Versa.
sounds painful.
I use the Versa Flame for heat sealing now. It's so much better than heat sealing with a heat gun. With a heat gun, it is like more overall that you get like a big patch, but sometimes you need several passes, or when it cools down, you have to go again. And with the Versa Flame has like normal fire, but also if you like move the slider, then it becomes like that really blowtorch kind of thing, and then you can just it's instantly sealed. It's really nice.
That sounds
But
good.
yeah, we went to Dremel HQ yesterday. If you didn't notice, like show the shirt.
I saw it.
Woo! And I got him there as well, and like Dremel coffee cup, and I can write with my Dremel pen. And
All the Dremel merchandise.
this one is cool though. This one is like a mini Dremel, but it is just a normal pen. But they shaped it as like a rotary tool.
Oh, that's funny.
So yeah.
Creative people.
Oh yes.
Ooh.
The funny thing is, Dremel, North America, is they are together. It is all under Dremel, but they kind of see it as a separate, not separate company, but a separate instance where they just handle North America. They do North America, so that's the United States and Canada. That's all they do. And the HQ where we were at here in the Netherlands was, they're called Dremel EMEA, and EMEA stands for Europe, Middle East, Asia. So that little HQ we were does the entire continent from coast to coast, basically. They do a lot. And
Yes.
what we found is that they kind of never really realized that cosplayers were really actively using their tools and what they do. And I think that's the plan for this year. Maybe they want to focus and make maybe strategies or more events on cosplay and all that stuff, because when you see at their website, they go through separate makers, like you see glass blowers and craft carvers and woodworkers and all that stuff. But one of the things we highlighted in a meeting yesterday is like we kind of took, like, cosplayers saw Dremel, like the rotary tools, and that what you had, we had to use, like all the sanding bits and sanding drums. All of their stuff is rated for hard materials like wood, hard plastics, all that. Nothing for, there are no bits for soft materials like foam. So I think they want some ideas also on like arts and craftsy stuff. So it was mainly it was a brainstorm session. It was really nice, and we got a lot of merch, and and they paid us in tools. And I'm kind of reaching the end of my Dremel collection. I've practically gotten everything by now. So next time it's money.
Not for me.
You still need shit. They'll be gladly to give it for the next one, I'm sure.
One is Stylo Dremel.
Yeah.
Just-
Do you know it? The Stylo Plus. Have you heard about it?
Mm-mm.
It's basically a rotary tool, but it's super slim. It's I think this is modeled after the Stylo Plus, and I think this is 1/3 of its size.
Oh.
Ish. So it's twice as big as this. But the nice thing about it is you can kind of see here, this is actually the power button as it is, and it has this little indentation here, and that the real one has it also. So you can also hold that one like a pen, and it's super light, and it feels like a pen. So you can just really, for detailing, it just holds really nice in the hand, and it's super light, and it even has 5 speed settings. So you can go slow, you can go fast. It's not the most powerful one, so don't expect to carve out big chunks of foam, but you can still like round stuff out and all that stuff. That one I got when I did their AnimeCon show and tell stuff. I got that one too, and some people were also really impressed there, and they bought it like right there on spot at AnimeCon. So yeah, so now we're rocking the merch.
Yay. Sadly not paid.
No. But we you know, it's not a bad thing to be friends with Dremel.
Yes, absolutely agree.
That is not bad. Do you own a Dremel?
Me?
Yes.
Yes, of course. I already owned a few, which I destroyed with my not knowledge of using the tools, but now I got a very fine one, and I try to treat it very well so that it's not get that easily destroyed like the last ones.
Yeah, I noticed that. At least I do it, and I see it a lot. But do you? And let's see if you agree. Because they didn't know at Dremel, they didn't know that when you like round off or use a Dremel or any rotary tool, it doesn't have to be a Dremel, just a rotary tool. Just people a lot in the community say like, oh yeah, just Dremel it away. They kind of use it as a word for rounding off the edges. Do you do that?
Yes.
I do that, and I see it a lot. But they had no idea that their brand name was used for like, oh yeah, just Dremel it. Like that.
Funny.
Yeah, they were like, really? You guys do that? Just like, yeah. It's they like when people ask like, hey, I want to get into cosplay. I want to. What tools do I need? They don't say a rotary tool. They say you get a Dremel.
It's cosplay essentials.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like knife, foam, glue, Dremel, and heat gun. I think that's your basic starter kit right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't need more.
Yeah, well, that's not really true. Otherwise, my shop would be empty. But you know, to start, it's like that's your main things to buy.
Yes. There are new comments. Do you want to read them or should I read them?
Go ahead.
Okay. Was gonna ask how Dremel stylo handles. Seems like good option for just foam. Yes. I really want it for
Oh, wait, you know what?
Small
Since
bits.
it's
Do
in
you
my
wanna
it's in my shop, so I'll get it.
Okay. Na, öfter hier?
Ich bin gerade so tief in den Abgründen meines PCs. Dieses Blendbild. Ich bin erschrocken von mir selbst.
Show.
Hello, I am back.
Yes.
Okay, so this is it. So if you see, if you can see, this little indentation here is where your finger just goes, and you can easily turn it on and off just by going like this, and you can hold it like a pen. It has the speed setting here, which goes from all the way from 1 to 5. On the back here, let's see if you can see it in the light, there's a button which locks this thing into place where you can just, you know, unlock it and then switch out the bits. And that's it. This is the entire device. It just comes with a small adapter for it, which you can disconnect for whatever reason. Maybe you want to punch it through a hole in your desk, and then you can just reattach it, and that's it. So and all the normal attachments fit on this Stylo Plus Dremel as well, and it just holds really nice. It's not heavy at all. I mean, it's super light, and if you compare it to the pen, a little bit.
Nice.
But yeah, that's it. It's super nice. It won't do if you really have a big, thick, thin millimeter foam and you really want to get a lot off of it, then I would just really suggest the more heavy-duty normal Dremels. But if it's just for rounding some stuff off and some detailing, and you have to do a lot, it's perfect.
Yes. I wanted.
I hope
No,
that
I wanted to.
answers it for W cosplay. So yeah, it's a nice thing to have, especially like you saw my Bob cosplay yesterday, and you said it was like, oh, you're gonna have to do a lot. I'm probably gonna do it with that one.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it will be the wireless one, and that's just freaking heavy because of the battery, and you're just gonna hold it all the time. And Bob armor is huge, so I'm like doing like this. So I'll probably use that one just to have it like light-handed.
Yeah. We also showed them the nice trick of like just using the Dremel to make holes. And they were like,
And
wow!
her face was like. She also said like that the Americans, their American department, won't like that if you put that in one of their official videos, but because their lawyers will go like, that's not its intended use and we'll get sued, and it's like, but it makes perfect circles. It's like done.
Yeah.
That's not for us to worry.
Yeah, not our problem.
No, not at all.
We can hurt ourselves.
But if we do it in an official capacity.
Yeah. I mean, one of the tools is already shaped like to make holes. So one of the tips.
Yes, what do they expect from giving stupid people wonderful tools, huh?
That perform at high speeds. Very high speeds.
Yes.
But I only work on maximum 4 because I don't like it when it's too fast. It works perfect for me. So
some people just use it only on max, and then it skips and eats away foam. And
You're like, oh man, I have to do it again. Oh fuck.
Battle damage. Just add some silver paint. We've all done that.
Yes. Like when I accidentally like exploded the airbrush over one of my Naruto shit. Oh, it's just battle damage.
Yeah, there were many memes about that. It's like, ah, shit, I mean battle damage.
Yes. There's another comment. Actually, in 2014, Polish distributor of Dremel tool, or rather Bosch. Yeah, it was Bosch and Dremel yesterday. Tried to get into the minds of cosplayers with some promotion involving major cosplayers. But it seems they failed since only a handful of people bought it and never came back for more accessories or bits. Yeah.
So it's nice to hear they're going back to this idea, but more internationally. Yeah. I think you can... I think they are using their North American example where they are working with Yaya Han now. And they just maybe realize more that this is a market that they didn't tap in yet. The market already exists, and they already all use Dremel, but some don't use Dremel. They just use the B brand rotary tools, and I think more and more now, I think they're just casting a wide net. And maybe we'll work with them more. Maybe they'll move on to others, or like you said, maybe they'll consider it a failure again, and we'll not go. Have you ever worked with any company, Finn?
No. I once had a commission, or talked about a commission of doing a cosplay from an app, but it took them 6 weeks to answer a basic question, so I just canceled that one because I thought, yeah.
What's the question?
No.
Do I get paid? What is this payment?
Yeah. What what is payment? Cosplayers never ask for that.
It's your hobby.
Yeah, it's your hobby. Get used to that. You don't get paid. You will die poorly.
Yes.
You should be grateful for this opportunity.
Yeah.
Did they use
I once,
the magic
I
E
once,
word?
Ah. Oh, I once remember. It's it's a joke about that topic. So I sprayed plastic or lacquer or something on the balcony, and my neighbor just looked at me and she said, "Oh, that stinks. Can you just spray inside, like having a spray booth or something?" And I just looked at her and said, "Yeah, but that's very expensive, Linda, and I'm a poor artist." It's like you have to wait till you die, then you get rich as an artist.
Yes. This work is from the late Shadowborder Cosplay. I'll pay 20,000.
Just get a spray booth, but like it goes right into her apartment.
I totally agree with that. She's acting weird when I spray outside. She's coming through the window and it's doing and then she slams the window. And then she's going to the other window and is doing it again.
Maybe he didn't hear my coughing. Let's go to the next window.
Let's make it safer. Yeah. I once got her while she was eating cheesecake. Oh, that was an arguing. Oh.
Is her cheesecake full of plastic dip?
Oh, nice.
That's what she called it. So
Do you still live there? Is Linda nearby?
yes, she is.
Shout out to Linda.
To Linda. Yeah, but the weird thing about that all is she's truly a messy, messy, messy person. And I'm just talking not about personality here, but also about how she behave here all around. Everybody know her for doing that. And she once came to me and said, here around the corner, a dentist office just closed. Do you want all that stuff for your Dremel? And she got me a big box full of. I could do teeth now by side here in my workshop. I got all that stuff she gave to me because I thought if I would take this now, she would probably be silenced and not complain anymore about me doing shit on the balcony.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I have a lot of fun living here.
Yeah, I used to do like the spraying. I did do the spraying inside, but I made like this makeshift spray booth, and then with a big fan connected to a tube, and that would go like outside. But when I did Plasti Dip, my next door neighbor sometimes did ring the bell, and he's a great guy, but the story gets a little grim, probably. So he always had lung trouble, but he does smoke a lot and weed too. So he smokes a lot. But yeah, he had lung problems and stuff. So especially like when I did paints, it was never really a problem. But Plasti Dip has that smell, that really nasty thing. And then sometimes he would ring the doorbell. Turns out, and this happened like last year, he has lung cancer, stage 4. And so bad that, because I live on the 3rd story and there's no elevator, that he had to move out. He had to move away because he couldn't walk the stairs anymore. When it was first diagnosed, a few weeks after, he fell down the stairs and broke his spine too.
Oh.
Yeah. So it was really bad, and I haven't heard from him in a long time actually. So yeah, I can get why it is nasty stuff, and if you do it then guided outside, I even like later it wasn't really a problem because then I just didn't or had it downstairs, or just kept it in and then just turned on the recirculating later. But yeah, that's also one of the ways it can go. So it's not always. I can understand Linda in some ways when I when you hear the full story of how it can go. It's like it's not that my plasti dip like caused his cancer. He never claimed it as such. It's just like I can really tell, and he was a cool guy. So, but yeah, if it can be nasty also.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But I would say we all absolutely agree with that. Any kind of stuff you spray on stings as fuck. That's just it's
Yeah.
horrible.
It's
Mm.
not even just limited to aerosols, also just from the airbrush, because you do still, even the ones that are
Yeah.
ready to go have thinners in them, and you just
Yes.
mystify, and it goes everywhere, and it's just
Mm.
safety first.
Yeah, yeah. I started with airbrushing recently, and I worked on my Xenogre armor, and it's blue, super blue, as we all know Xenogre. And I had this paper thing on my mouth, and after I was done with spraying, I put it off, and it was all blue inside. I was very, very horrible. Also, my shells, everything was just covered in blue dust. It was yeah.
But at least it's just dust in the end and not like actual paint.
Yeah, don't make it wet.
Yeah, yes. Don't make it
It's like looking onto your shelf and be like, oh no, what's this?
It made it
Oh, no.
worse. But did you get a respirator now?
Yes, I have one and I use it all the time when I spray anything.
Those
I should
masks.
probably get Linda one.
Ah, today would be a perfect day. It's like for Valentine's Day, a gift.
Heart-shaped gift box.
And then a respirator.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I also know you should wear one while you glue, but who does that?
I don't know anybody that does it.
Mm.
I mean, you should, because with the contact glue, it is. When I did like, I really noticed it with doing the Bob one, because then because the thing is just huge, you lay down a huge layer on one line. So there's like more. I didn't notice it that much with when I built other cosplays, because then I glue kind of slow already. But now that I have to do just thick lines, then there's just more. And when I'm done with a part, you can kind of feel it, smell it, cough it, that kind of shit. It's not good. I am wondering what those they were quite popular for a while. The easy, the like easy mask kits something. Yeah, they're not like the mouth guards that Finn just mentioned, also not respirators. It's kind of like a hybrid of the two, and they're all fabric. They kind of have two of those ventilation things, and you use Velcro on the side, so it's really easy to get it on, and it's all fabric, so no rubber or silicone that may irritate your skin. So yeah, I was looking into getting one of those maybe for just the gluing or sanding jobs that you do with dust, because it probably won't handle all that well when you're doing like really toxic stuff like resin casting or something. Then that won't work. But I wonder how they work for glue and sanding.
Oh, I found them. Oh, they have different designs.
Yeah, they do.
Ooh.
So yeah, maybe get one of those.
How expensive are they? Let me
Yeah, I think there are probably also cheaper like clones or fakes out there. There's an airbrush store here in the Netherlands that is like the official retailer of them.
see. It's okay. One is for $30.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's good.
Yeah, probably like the filter eventually will probably run out, and then just get a new one.
Maybe I should get one of those.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, let's all shop.
And the next one is like all respirators. So let's talk a little bit more about our guest here, and maybe he has some interesting con stories. I mean, we've shared our con stories and horrible con moments, but do you have any really bad convention moments? I had one of my first ones was, for example, a guy at Gamescom punched me in the chest 3 times because he wanted to see if my armor was real. So do you have some of those weird stories that people were just like total dicks or assholes, or that you were attacked in some way, or just freaky stories at cons?
Yes, it was Gamescom 2019. There was a drunken person, and he just came over and asked for a picture, and I said yes, and his friend grabbed the camera, and I was just standing there in normal pose, and he kind of had the feeling like he need to halfway in some kind of weird way hug me onto him. So he just grabbed under my pauldron on my shoulder and pushed me into his arms really harsh, so that my wig was like nearly coming off, and I was surely looking like a mess there on that picture. And a friend of mine looked at him and said, "You have to be more careful." And he just said, "Those cosplayers are here for getting the attention and getting touched like this, so don't complain."
Wow.
Oh,
I was just,
wow.
Ooh.
I was really just standing there and felt like I felt used in some kind of way. And I was shocked that he was so ignorant. Yeah, that was truly like he was very drunken, and he instantly got aggressive after my friend said, "Yeah, be more careful." He really got aggressive. So now looking back on it, it was kind of funny, but at this moment, it was really I was afraid. Yeah.
Yeah. That's sometimes like weird because I know they serve beer at a lot of places here in European conventions. I don't know how it is in American cons if they serve beer there as well, because like they have a higher age limit too. It's like the 21, and here in Europe it just varies from country to country. What is it in Germany? I think it's the same as us.
What?
drinking
For
age?
beer, it's 16.
16 starts with beer and wine, and when you go with harder spiritos, it's 18.
Mm-hmm.
I got asked for ID a few weeks ago. And I got
What a nice compliment.
I was like, and the girl was so young. I was like, "Oh, I could be your dad."
Oh.
You should say that with very deep voice, man. I could just be your
Could be
daddy.
your dad.
So-
I never knew my father. Oh shit.
Damage is over 9,000.
I heard that like Katsucon is like the drunk convention.
That's going on now, right?
Yes, actually, yes.
Yeah, I think it is now.
Yes, this weekend.
Oh.
But I don't know, like the cosplay meme pages, the American one, like ConCrunch. I
Yeah.
think they posted about Katsucon always like being a convention full of drunk cosplayers. So
Oh.
So we can wait for more drama stories.
yes.
I remember we have a nice, very, very nice convention here in Germany called Dokumi, and it's in a huge park. It's one of my absolute favorites.
I'm
And I
thinking of
remember
going there this year.
Oh, cool.
So
Very nice. Then we'll probably have the chance to hang out. So, I remember in the morning coming there, and there was a cosplayer who was with some friends of mine, and I came over to them, and he was just like, "Oh, I feel so dizzy. I feel not good." And I asked, what's up?" And he said, yeah, we we've drunken all night the last days with my con friends here, and now we're here super early. It's like, but why you're drinking at con? Because I intentionally never had the feeling like I have to drink while at convention is, because I want to
Yeah.
feel fit and energized for all that. And he just said, yeah, I only get at this time the year the chance to drink with my cosplay friends. I cannot really understand this, but yeah, that's. I
Yeah.
think it's a big thing for cosplayers to really drink the heavy stuff at their hotel rooms and get drunk and all stuff.
I think for some it's all the social stuff they'll do, and they try to like force everything in there because they might not get another chance, or they don't do it like your average person that goes out on the weekend and gets hammered every Saturday, and then maybe they'll just see that as their blowout weekend away, and let's drink like crazy. It's like
Mm.
I like my beer, I like my whiskey, but at a convention where I know I'll be at a contest and rock my new cosplay, and then like, yeah, let's get shit faced. It's like, no. I already
mean,
have
like-
I already have a headache from not drinking enough water. So let alone that I
Yes,
drink.
yes, agree. I just think about I'm not eating all day. I've slept like shit in that hotel room. I've not drinking anything, normal water, like, and then just drink alcohol, which dehydrates your body even more. That's
Yeah.
a thing of real cosplay pain that I don't even want to know.
Yeah, I don't
It's
like
like,
fainting.
no,
Yeah.
same.
Yeah, man. I can understand if like people are wasted from like the night before from drinking, but drinking at the convention is why?
I can enjoy a beer at a convention just to
Yes,
have
yeah,
a beer, but not like,
beer,
yo,
but
give me 10 more.
yeah,
Mm.
I don't know,
So,
but I don't drink anyways. Just sometimes a nice wine.
Yeah.
you have to do the hand. It's like,
Yes.
I only drink a wine.
Leave your fingers away from the alcohol.
So, when we started this call, before we went live, we were saving a certain subject that's going on in Germany.
Yeah.
Some drama about play.
Yeah, in some cosplay groups on Facebook, there are almost weekly discussions about how you're not a cosplayer if you don't play. When you're not play, you're just a costumer. I don't know. You just wear a costume, or you should go to carnival if you just wanna wear it but not play it. And some of them get really aggressive when you say, "But I can define how I want to cosplay." They're like, "No, no, no! You need to play because you're not a cosplayer if you don't play."
So I mean, you have to be the character in character or not.
Yes, all the time.
Guess I'm off to carnival.
Bye.
Well, I once remember when I did one of the cosplays we have saved a picture for later. There was a person coming over to me, looking at me, and said, um, I'll be Draco Malfoy tomorrow at the Harry Potter cosplay meeting, so be prepared. I can be very bitchy and picky with the persons I talk to. And this person just left after that.
Sounds
That was
great.
probably a cosplayer. That was probably a
Oh,
cosplayer.
cosplayer.
He played it, definitely.
Sounds like fun to be around.
Yeah.
Let's meet up.
That's the point where I truly want to go with 10 beer or more.
Can't wait for tomorrow.
Oh yeah, great, wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always something. It seems that I saw this morning on some stories that there's this new. It's not new, but it's going around again. That there are people that are reporting the more lewd cosplayers. It's like, oh, they're not cosplaying, and they are taking over the cosplay community and taking away my reach and where. Yeah, and it's like,
How?
because everybody is looking at them and not at me. You know, that kind of.
Complaining about rich
Mm,
people in general.
Yes.
yeah.
So they shouldn't buy followers.
Well,
Followers.
well, um, the whole
Maybe
their whole like reasoning is faulty already, because if they are going like, yeah, they all they have attention for is the lewd cosplayer and not me, implying that maybe he is just making something. It's like, do you even maybe want that as an audience? Because it might be also very thirsty people who can be really annoying and send you a lot of creepy DMs. So maybe you don't even want that as your audience, but they don't go that they never seem to turn the mirror and be like, look at themselves like, hey, maybe it's not everybody else's problem, but maybe I am the problem. It's always like, no, it's you, not me. It's always the other person, and like, I'll report you, or I'll cancel you, and I'll make Instagram delete your thing, and they organize these whole shit things that mass reports people, and then people just lose their account when they're just grinding, and they're just, you know,
Yeah.
they're just
They
That's
have
a-
a different audience. Like,
Huh.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely agree with that. I once was reading a thing from a lewd cosplayer, because I do actually follow lewd cosplayer, because um, I just want to support people, and one of those person once posted, she just said, there is different kind of people in that community. There are the lewd community, there are the lewd and other cosplay community, and there is the just cosplay community. So you will never reach the persons who are just there for lewd, as a cosplayer who's doing a different style of cosplay, and that's just the thing. So these people just have to get over that, because I think that's more a personal thing, and we live in a time where Instagram absolutely kills our reach sometimes, which is super annoying. And I think these people may just look for answers at some point where they say, why is my reach so bad at the moment? Or it'd have to be that naked girl there on the sheets with that nice wig on. So that's for themselves to not reflect, like you already say. They don't have to reflect at this moment because they blame the other person for it.
Yeah.
yeah, it's that's an ongoing thing. I mean,
people should stop looking at others.
But the hate there is, I once was friends with some people, and there was a French cosplay magazine, and they made space for the cover on the magazine for that um, early friend of mine. Um, and they interviewed her and all that. They wanted to give her the cover and a huge page inside of the magazine to just honor her and show off her work. And she was spreading the hate so much about lewd cosplayer in the interview that they canceled the whole thing in the end.
Huh.
That's heavy. That's heavy. And this person just took it like, I don't care, it's my opinion, so they can go to hell or whatever. And like, wow, that's
what I don't get
interesting.
is like how. I think I talked about this before. I think if you're only if you're only always spreading the negativity and the hate and looking at other people, it's like, oh, you're doing it wrong and you're doing it wrong. You can't be happy yourself. There's if you're truly happy yourself and you like what you're doing, it's like, oh, I'm happy and I have my life in order and I got
Yes.
do my job.
Then you
and
don't
I
get
cosplay.
sold.
Then you no, exactly. You won't go after that stuff because
Yes.
that will negatively influence you, and nobody wants to be angry all the time. You want to be happy all the time. So I think there's already you're in that downward spiral, and you yourself have to kind of go against that and get out of it. But a lot of people just keep
Yeah.
keep in that negativity spiral, and then it's the next thing they see, and then it's a lewd cosplayer, and then you're not playing in cosplay, so you're not cosplay, and what's the next thing? They'll hop from drama to drama to drama to drama to drama. It's just
Yes.
and
And
then years on, it's like, oh, I'm so depressed. Well, I wonder why.
yeah.
And
Yes,
I
I
had depression.
absolutely
I've been in a negative spiral, but you really need to like look at yourself and be like, I need to fix this. I need to proactively change things in my life.
Yes. Yes. We are the ones who can change this. I think as in cosplay, you're definitely a person who wanna show off and sparkle, like you wanna channel your inner kind of star. We
Yeah.
all have kind of mental problems, everybody in its own way, and cosplay is the way to absolutely get help for that problem. Like you have a community, you have a thing to do to not lay in bed and be like, oh, what's my life doing? What's up here? So you just stand up, go to the workshop because you want to finish this damn thing for the convention. You're going to meet all the friends and the nice people. But it's there's also, like you said, that thing kind of because that's like all this people with problems, they're all in one spot, and if you get into like faced with people who cannot reflect it, then you get the drama and all the stuff.
Yeah. When you can, when you see it's always shitty that the negativity just sticks out more than, because there's way more positivity than the negative things.
Yes.
But those always stick out like a sore kind of thumb. There's much more sharing and kindness in the group. Hey, we got a new follower. Oh, it's my colleague Sven. Oh, my buddy, my homie. Finally, he returns the follow. I follow him on both accounts. Hello, Sven. Another one.
Oh,
District Creations. Well, Lucas, you didn't follow yet.
unfriended.
We'll get to the chat in a little bit. We have some catching up to do in the chat. Yeah, the I don't know what I wanted to say. The negativity. I lost my train of thought. What I wanted to say when you were saying just go to the workshop and start building. That's how I got out of my burnout and depression. I started doing cosplay. I started working out, and I was seeing a psychologist, a shrink at the time, and like through things, he once gave me thinking homework, and it was like, see how you combined your love for sci-fi and comics and movies and combine that with your creative side. And then after a night of googling, I found cosplay. And so cosplay, like going, like literally what you said, going into the workshop and building stuff got me out of a very bad negative place. So I don't get why some people that are in this community are still so toxic as shit while they're making stuff and they have something to be proud of and they can show it, and then they're like and still so like
Absolutely agree. We all sit in the same boat, and all we want is just the attention for the good work and doing good stuff which inspires us and inspires people. I can I can tell a story which is very similar to what you said before. I still work. I work as a hairdresser, and this business is hard sometimes. There are also toxic people, and you see, because it's a craft, you see all the time how your state of knowledge actually is. And I had a time where everything was just too much for me, and I quit my hairdresser job for 2.5 years and tried to do cosplay for a living. That was also when I just recognized that I just found out I want to be a cosplayer. I did the hobby 3 months, and then I had this mental breakdown where I quit the job. And I had I kind of have had a depression problem, but for me it was more anxiety. And as a kid, I was always watching live videos of performers, superstars, and I was watching this and had in my head as a kid saying, I need to watch this all to know how to act later, because I want to be a person that gets seen. And that's why I also don't understand why some people in the community are so toxic when it's about you want attention, or you want to show your work on social media and post every day. Some people get very, very negative about this all, and you take Instagram too seriously or whatever, but that's a different story. So yeah, cosplay really helped me getting back into my life, because I'm a hairdresser again. I'm at a very, very, very good salon working at the moment. I started just 5 months ago, so it's not a long time, and I've just been in cosplay for about 3 years now. And yeah, that was my cosplay story, if you want to. And I
Yeah.
never shared this before because I'm still kind of afraid of talking about that anxiety thing and all that stuff, because it was just overcoming me at some point, and cosplay was my escape. Yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing. If you've never shared that before, then thanks a lot for sharing it, even live on the show. I mean, it's not always easy sharing those stories, but yeah, I can relate in some ways. Yeah. So thank you again. But good,
Yeah,
man.
thank you
It's
for opening
yeah.
you for opening that up. 'Cause, it's great hearing that we all even sit more in that same boat
Yeah.
that we sometimes expect. That's great.
What I heard a lot from people is a lot of cosplayers, or really proactively cosplay and attend conventions, have a history of being like bullied in school. And you said like so a lot of people have like the sort of mental problems, and I think that kind of stems from that. Like I never belonged like in school with the popular kids and all that stuff, and then you start cosplay, you start going to the conventions, and there you find your like-minded people.
Kid.
Well, I'm not saying for everybody.
I'm normal.
Go play League, you normie.
Normies.
Sorry.
But I think for plenty of people, I know I found very like-minded people at conventions, and it's like, and then you hear their stories, and that kind of overlaps with yours. And it's like, we've had like similar experiences and maybe even issues. And for the most part, it is really a helpful community, because if I go on a random Facebook group, cosplay Facebook group right now, and I would say like, hey, I'm new to cosplay, I need to know what's the best way to seal foam, one of the most basic questions there is, I know I would get a lot of help. So in that way, the community is very open and very helpful. But I think the more and the longer you're in it, and in the bigger groups, and then you see you're exposed to the negative side. And I started in 2015, so I've been only cosplaying 5 years, which isn't all that long in like the grand scheme of things. But you can see that the community is growing, it's getting more popular, and the
Yep.
number of people are do cosplay is getting bigger. But that means a percentage of that increase is toxic people also. It's like the positivity will grow, but those, the toxic people also, that will also grow. So you're also exposed to it more as that number grows.
Yeah.
Grows
Like
as well.
when I started, it was
Oh yeah,
more
and just
yeah.
to cut in the chat, Lucas
Yes.
saying the cosplay community is like an onion with a rotten core. Yeah, that's very nicely said. You only see it when you chop it in half. It's like,
I mostly compare it to a school class because, like, right now it's like a school class. In 2013, it was more like the outsider group, but now you have like the cool people, the quiet people, the people who don't care, the people who bully. Yeah.
I think social media also plays a big role in it because you see these people who want to be big in social media. I want to be insta famous, and they think they'll do it through cosplay. I've had people, and I've kind of encountered it now with kind of contacting other people for commissions. That they're saying like, oh hey, it's like that I want to work with them because they're not big on IG. It's like that doesn't matter.
Mm.
It's like I like what I'm seeing. I'm seeing your work, and I like what I'm seeing, and I need something, so I'm commissioning you. It doesn't matter if you have 100, 10,000, or 1,000,000. If I like what I'm seeing, and I want it, and I want to commission you, and also like support your fellow artists, but there is this almost normalized notion that like, oh, I'm not big on IG, so I'm crap. No, far from it. So you can have like 10k followers but still build utter shit, and if you commission them they might not meet deadlines or whatever, and then you meet someone who has maybe 10 followers and they're the most hardworking on-time person ever. So
Yes.
but followers don't say shit, but that notion is just in there. It's like, oh, I'm not big, so I'm useless. But that's
Yeah.
not true.
It's mostly about doing the right stuff at the right time, and then you get a lot of reach. But that doesn't have to mean that the stuff has to be good for that. Some people just want to see stuff going on. It don't have to be good. I'm surprised sometimes when I check out deeply into Instagram because I'm bored or something. I just a few days ago I found two male cosplayers who are doing an amazing job, and I never heard or saw anything of them before. It's so weird what's going on with social media sometimes.
Yeah, that's also the social media does like kill the reach. So and then people buy followers because they think it'll help, but that makes the problem even worse.
Yes.
It does. So
Yeah.
I want to be big on Instagram. No, you don't. Don't.
But isn't Instagram deleting the when you buy follower? Isn't it deleting them?
They sometimes do purges.
The purge.
Yeah, they really do. I mean, it's kind of, there are videos on that on YouTube how like they can scan pretty easily for bots, because it always like stupid made up word accounts. Like their username would be not Shadowborder but 325x exclamation mark question mark, and they follow 10,000 people with 0 posts themselves, and those are kind of easy to pick out, I guess, for people at Instagram, and then it's really easy to verify, and then once every often they do a purge, but you know, they don't get them all, so because you can still buy fake followers. So
Yeah.
you want to go through the chat because it's pretty active and we haven't gone through
Yes.
it. You want to?
Lumos. Yeah, I try. Okay. Okay, there. A word to the drunk people at Con Topic. The Japanese garden at Dokumi is a beautiful location for pictures and stuff, and every year some retard camp there and drink the whole con. Last year they had a big pavilion and beer pong table.
Beer
Yeah.
pong at a con at Dokumi?
Why?
Why though?
Sounds like a good time.
Well, not if they overdo it.
We
Sounds
should
a little
do
bit like-
ice pong or something. Counter what they're doing.
It's like a Japan Tag in Düsseldorf is the week before Dokumi every year, I think. And 90% of these convention. It's more like a cultural day turned into drinking and smoking and shisha and yeah. So normies go there to shisha.
And then look at the stupid weeps.
Yes. It turned into a shit fest.
Oh.
It's, yeah, really sad for the cultural aspect. Okay, has the Roast My Cosplay segment already happened? No, it didn't happen yet. I plan to buy one of those super silly, cheesy barbecue aprons with fake boobs glued to it, so I can do one fake booby pic for social media just to make a point.
Yes. Do it.
Daniel actually wants to buy some fake boobies because he wants to do a crossplay, but I think he will never do it. He wants to make from, I think, Street Fighter. Yeah, maybe it's something with big, yeah.
Or he finally starts his gaming stream with boobs
With fake
and
boobies.
yes,
Be a real
he can be classed as titty
Titty
streamer.
Yeah, negativity breeds negativity. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. 2 words from Finn. Yes. Sorry. Toxic people everywhere. Just stay positive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Try it.
Yeah, but for not everybody can do that. Really, if people are trapped in that negative spiral, it's not that they're gonna wake up and be like, "I'm gonna
Yeah.
be positive today."
Oh, that's negative.
It's really actively. You have to really come to realize that you're toxic, because a toxic person won't say, "I'm toxic."
Some of them do.
Really?
Yes.
They'll enjoy it. It's like, I am toxic. Like, yeah, maybe, I guess so.
I've noticed that it's like an escape, but like a face you can put on and you'll be happy. Not for me, but maybe some cosplayers have that. Like,
Maybe.
yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
it's also maybe like a defense mechanism. It's
Mhm.
like, I'm gonna hurt you before you have a chance to hurt me.
I'm gonna hurt myself so you can't hurt me. Yes, I'm a shit cosplayer. You don't need to say that.
Well, we're gonna roast ourselves, so we hate each other.
If you can't roast yourself, how in the hell are you gonna roast somebody else?
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Will there be a not safe for work calendar of Daniel cross dressing? If he ever does that, maybe. Would be funny.
I want to go with a poster for every single page. Do like a huge calendar.
My Dremel pen is already broken.
Oh no. Oh.
Like my first Dremel and my second and my third.
It can kind of shove in, but it can just like a wee.
Okay.
Alrighty. How long have we been at it? I don't see a timer. Roast your Anthem helmet. No, I gave that to you. That is an awesome gift and it's an awesome helmet. The game just sucked.
You can buy it for 10 euros at Saturn already and MediaMarkt and and GameStop has it for 50.
There are rumors going around that they're making Anthem 2.
What?
Yeah, I know.
What?
I don't know. It's EA. They have plenty of money.
Yeah.
They're
They have all the
swelling.
DLCs.
Yeah, it's yeah, Anthem. It's a nice game.
Maybe
At
I
least-
will
at
try
least-
it out when it's free.
Yeah. It's free to play. Let's see. How long have we been streaming now? I don't see it in my.
I think for over an hour.
Oh, that's,
So we should start the roast my cosplay.
maybe. Yeah, you wanna move into the roasting. Okay, so I guess we give the disclaimer now. We're this is kind of new ground for us. We're gonna try and do just see I mean, we have looked at the pictures, but not like worked up material like a traditional roast where all the jokes are written already. So we're just gonna see, and we're just gonna see if we can like make jokes as we go. Might not be funny, it might be funny, but all these people that we're gonna roast that is not us gave their consent. they agree. Derek Anderson in the chat, I know you've sent one. I think you're the Halo cosplayer. I only got one cosplay from Halo. I think that's you. So let's see if I hit.
You can also roast in the chat, but not too hard.
Yeah, we kind of want to roast, but a roast shouldn't be
Roast positive.
no. Well, not so much, but it shouldn't be. Your glue lines are shit. Like
Yeah.
it has to be funny, you know. It's yeah, the ODST. Yeah, exactly. So that's the whole point. It's needs to be funny, not like, oh, your cosplay is shit.
It is.
I know mine is. Okay, so the first one is, it should switch over now. Let's check if it. Here we have in the middle is our
Yes.
lovely Lara, or
I am beautiful.
she's a blue Mickey Mouse here with those big gloves.
And those fine ass sneakers.
Yes, blue Mickey Mouse on Nikes. Oh. Oh.
This was actually at Japan Tag 2014.
This is Lara.
There's Hannah on the right.
No, that's Nightcrawler, I think, right?
Yes, it's
Yeah,
Nightcrawler.
see, it's Nightcrawler.
It looks like
Walmart version of Avatar.
Oh no!
Oh, nice.
You moved your camera.
What? Oh,
You
yeah.
moved the camera.
Oh,
we don't see you.
I was laughing too hard. The camera's moving. Sorry. Yeah.
Netflix adaptation of Avatar. Yes. You can see like at night the people of Walmart, and then you see Lara in her scooter in her blue costume.
Oh,
When was this?
2014 or 15. Like you can see how slim and skinny I am. Like I really want those legs.
But what's
when you-
inside of the gloves?
I don't know.
When you have to finish your cosplay but have a weekend at Disneyland before. I don't have the chat is not in the pictures as these scenes were added later, so I'll have to do that for the next roast.
E.T. head.
Yes.
Yes, because they're like a little bit pointy.
Lara,
like-
phone
like-
home.
Like a frog. Oh no.
I have to credit Derek Anderson for that E.T. hands. As I was looking at the picture, I thought, where have I seen these hands before?
Did you make those gloves yourself? Did you just? sew
Yes, I
them?
still have them.
Oh really?
Then it's the sewing in the fingers, probably. Because I know this when I sew gloves, they kind of look the same, so I glue armor on it. So that it disappears.
I'm carrying my tail. I'm just seeing it now.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
All right. Want to go?
over here.
I want to go to the next one. That's gonna be me.
Okay, next one.
You got it ready at your phones or whatever.
Yes,
All right.
I'm ready.
So here is me. This is me at Carnival, and I think this is 2014 before I even did a convention I made this suit, and it was at Carnival, and it was my Iron Man suit, and I among these ecstasy fueled rave party goers, I won best costume. So
What is that in the background?
that is
The second best costume.
It's a cookie monster, right? But why? Why is it facing in your direction?
I don't know. I saw that I'm having a picture. Roast me. Tony Stark and a stolen traffic cone. Yeah.
You, what? Iron Man, a little bit too much snow. Like you're standing there, like
You can't see what's going on underneath the helmet.
why does it say XX on your art reactor?
Because the club is called the Matrix, and it's with two X's.
Okay.
So to score points with the judges, I put the logo on my arc reactor.
Work smarter.
Yes.
What's going on with the traffic cone thing? I first thought that's like German old people wear this for hiking in the forest on Sundays.
It actually is that. It folded into a normal hat, and then if you like blew it, then it became that, and I put it on my head.
I want this hat now.
Yes, I want one too.
This is really cool.
One of you had a good joke when I showed this to you.
I already forgot it.
I didn't.
Then go on.
That it wasn't hard that I won first place because of everybody was fucked up on drugs.
Oh yeah. Yes. I think Cookie Monster should have won.
Yes. I even didn't know, because how it worked was there are secret judges from the club itself, and they're just normal party goers, dressed as normal party goers, and they go around and they ask you like, hey, what's your name, and oh, nice costume, blah blah, but they're like kind of secret judges, and then they take notes and stuff, and then they have like their meeting or whatever during the party, and then they have the number 1, 2, and 3. So we were like, when you look at the picture, it's like you see up there's a whole balcony row, and you can like sit there, and we were there, and all my friends were like totally messed up out of their minds, and I was just standing there. I didn't have anything to drink, just water and everything, because I was in this whole suit, and I didn't hear anything with the helmet on and all that stuff. And apparently they were announcing the people. It's like, oh, number 3, it's this one, come up to the stage, blah, blah. I didn't even know that was going on. And one of my friends who was like totally messed up was like, Wayne, I think they just mentioned your name, bro. I was like, what? I take off my helmet and I see like people there, and then I still don't hear it. Because they were like, oh, come to the stage. And I was like, I don't, but I'll just believe my friend. And I just walked up the stairs to the bouncer guy, and he was like, are you Wayne? It's like, yeah, I'm Wayne. Yeah, you won. It's like, I heard.
Yay.
What a wonderful story.
Yeah. Wizard of Oz Tin Man. Yes.
It also looks a little bit like your one eye is a little bit closed.
Yes.
It's
Yeah,
like
you're doing a little kind of this
yes.
thing.
That's really
I like
fitting with this pose. Like,
Yes. I even have, for some reason, I don't have a glove on my other hand, and I'm making a fist.
oh
And
yeah.
I don't know why.
You could just ask 2014 Lara if she's doing you and glow for like.
Yeah. I'm like,
Yes,
can I
you-
take your picture? Fight me, bruh. All right. Enough of the Wizard of Oz Tin Man. It's time for to roast our guest. Are you ready?
Let's go.
I was born ready.
It is. it's Voldemort with ear tunnels.
And crunch. Look like oatmeal in my face.
Yes.
Voldemort eating too much lemons.
Oh, what is going on?
Is that a unicorn in the background, or what is it?
Where? What? Unicorn?
Oh no, it's just somebody's costume with a stick. It looked like the face of a horse.
Oh, there.
With a kind of beard going on.
Oh, the chat
down
is
there.
the chat is way better at roasting than we are. You guys are ruthless.
Where are you born like this? Oh no.
Hot topic employee.
Oh my goodness. I can tell a funny story about this day. It was already in the evening when there came a photographer woman up to me and asked if she could do some pictures of me, and I said yes, and we went around the corner to a tree and she took some pictures of me. And back then I asked myself, why was she so mean to me? Because after we was done with the shooting, she came over and said, yeah, I think your costume looked fucked up. And then she turned around and she left. She left and she just left me standing there like this. And I was for a long time thinking, why was this woman so mean? Looking back at the picture now, I kind of understand why that woman was so mean. It was probably good, so she just prepared me for this day now, for right now.
Like even Bellatrix is not impressed.
No, you're trying to do the hug, and she's like, haha, no. And you're standing there, hover hand.
Oh, yeah.
It's magic.
Is that velvet?
It's magic.
Yes,
It
it is, right?
It is the cheapest velvet you can get for €1 the meter, and I can tell you that thing was completely glued with hot glue. Completely.
Wow.
No sewing.
Wow.
No sewing at all. And can you see? It was like this a rope thing that you pull over. You can see underneath that thing was just one piece of fabric. That means if the rope would switch over my shoulder, I would just be naked under that. So that was kind of a lewd start into cosplay.
You look like the love child of the Joker and Voldemort. I see you got inspired by algivores. I don't know what that is. I don't get it.
So don't know.
Algivores?
Let's Google it up.
Yes.
Okay. Did you find what? Algivores.
We have about 4 more.
It
That's not
shows
us.
medicine for me.
Yes, same. I was on medicine. Probably kind of look like.
Oh, it's a drawer?
I look like it's kicking in right now on that picture.
Nice bathrobes. Michael Jackson without his nose looks like a 10 right now.
That's so funny because I danced Michael Jackson last week at my performance. So
Yeah,
he's
I
the
saw
king,
that.
so I take it as a compliment.
I saw that. You posted that one.
Yes.
Okay, bye. Oh, wait. Did your knees hurt when you got up after sucking a long sit? Okay, bye.
What? Bye.
Bye. Okay, bye. Bye, Sven. Oh, the algivores, it's a type of fish that cleans up algae in your fish tank.
Okay, now I see it.
Damn.
Wait, I'm curious. Did you draw on new nostrils, or is it just a shadow?
No, it's cutted holes. I did a
Oh,
cast
so
of my face.
professional.
I was yeah. Listen, I did a cast of my face with what's that word? I don't know what it is. Whatever. It was this what you put around your arm when it's broken.
Mhm.
What's it
Cast.
called?
Yeah,
The cast.
Cast some stuff.
Yeah,
Yes,
plaster,
I
yeah.
bought this at an hobby crafting store around the corner here, and I did a cast of my face, and I modeled with clay to that Voldemort face, and I think I have it somewhere here, still in the box. And
Nice.
yeah, funny for this, it's a mix out of latex and floor. That's how I created the mask directly on the face cast. Yeah, and I did a little bit more of clay pins on that, and then I just cutted them away, so I had holes for my nose.
All right. Are we ready for the first public
Yes.
cosplay that's got submitted? All right. So this is not us, but they did give us permission. So here we have. Let's check it. We have Green Power Ranger out, or Farmer Ranger. He's out in the field, and he turned on the sprinklers in the background for his farmer dad, and now he's off to fight putties. In the...
Farmer
Is
by
that-
day, ranger by night.
The first thing I see is like a maid struggle with those things going on. The bulge, the bulge is going on.
The bulge.
Yes.
What do you call those things? Like hide it. The dance thing.
Dance belt.
Yeah.
Dance, yes.
Form a dance belt.
Would have been better.
Like,
It's like, look at my custom, look at my dick. Look at my custom, look at my dick.
And you're like looking down. It's like, yeah.
You meet this person, you'll be
Cosplay.
like, oh my god, your cosplay is so good.
I think his pants is sagging down because he's holding up his belt, and he's
Yes.
feeling really mighty while doing it.
like it should be like at least 50 centimeters up. Like I only can imagine how he walks. Like it's a little bit too small, I think.
Spready leg to work.
when you have no budget for the firework entrance.
Mr. Studio Girl Mighty Lime.
The Lime Ranger.
Lime Ranger.
Yes.
I kind of like the pauldron thing though.
Yeah, I can't really. It's a nice cosplay though. I mean,
Absolutely.
I
Just
can't
the
really.
lower side, what's going on there, I can't take my eyes away.
The shoes look a little bit like cowboy shoes.
Yes,
I don't
oh
know.
my god, I was just... He's
One-
dark. He's what's that person called from Fairy Parents? Dark Dome or something.
Yes, Duck Dimmadome. Yes.
Is he going to bring us some milk?
I think the guy's name is I don't remember his name. He posted it through Facebook, so I forgot his name, but yeah, no, I don't know his name anymore. I don't know why he's in this field. It's like, the Field Ranger.
I wonder if there's like when you go down the path, is there another house or just nothing?
There are more rangers.
A road.
More ranger.
He's on the road to find his dance belt. That's his quest.
Aw.
Maybe he didn't work too
It's just this lonely road of no dance belts. But it like, if you're watching a guy who made this, I gotta say it looks really nice. It's really hard to be mean now. It
Yes,
looks
I
really
absolutely agree.
good. It looks really good.
I noticed that the shadow looks weird, kinda. I don't know.
Like a
Huh?
small, like
Small
it
blob.
looks a bit like Shin-chan in some kind of way when you. This One thing
Yes.
what could be like supposed to be the head, but is giving me Chinchan vibes.
Yes.
But with
The
the
show
Lara
is weird.
Wegenaer legs from 2014.
Yes.
Yes. The shadow is Lara legs.
He dummy
That's
thick
her
and the
new-
shadow skinny.
That's her new name, Lara Legs.
Lara legs.
Lara legs.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we ready for the next one?
Yes.
Okay.
Next one.
Whack. The next one is.
That's
It's
the pool boy.
it's Halo Pool Boy Edition.
Okay.
And Halo Pool Boy shops also at Hot Topic, judging from his cool, trendy, torn up jeans.
Yes. ODST needs to be trendy.
Yes, Halo Pool Boy needs to mow the grass and do his chores, because damn, that's some long grass. His
Yes.
foot is disappearing in the grass.
Yes. But also the grass is like chopped off, not more like really cut off. It's
He just finished shooting it off.
what kind of machine does that? Cutting
I
it
don't
like
know. Weed whackers. What Americans do in free time with their hand cannons. Yeah, they just be at the pool,
yeah.
sniping on Nuketown.
It's funny
Wait,
because
wrong
they
game.
all have
Yes.
pools and they all have guns there.
Also, I see you have those standard gloves that every cosplayer has for anything that's tactical. Also, can we have them for Kakashi?
It's my tactical gloves.
Amazon tactical gloves. Buy the first one.
Oh, he's a medic too, and he's at a pool. He could make like a
Lifeguard?
yeah, a shitty porn video with Cortana. It's like,
Oh.
help me! Like, I'm coming, I'm a medic!
No.
He's the Hasselhoff of cosplay.
Yes. Thank you for saving me, even though I'm a AI. I was drowning. I'm a medic, baby. Cue music.
Yeah.
Help us, chat.
Yeah, bring us more stuff. You see details that we don't even see.
Yeah,
was
I
very
have to
creative with
go
me.
from this live thing, so I can't really have the close-up shot. District Creations, I'll stay quiet. No, you do Halo cosplay. You shouldn't stay quiet.
Like, did you go to a nail salon before? Because I see some handy black nail polish on there.
Yeah, on that finger, there's some black nail polish. Are you trying to
Yeah,
hide
that
something?
fits. That fits
Or maybe it's
together with
paint.
the Hot Topic
No, it's not.
pens.
Yes.
Yeah, that was
Supposed to.
He bought the jeans. So what? Do you want to try this new black nail polish? Like, yes.
Or
It
buy,
goes with the tube jeans.
buy a jeans and get a free nail.
Oh,
Makeover.
Lucas.
I will
Oh.
say also
yes.
get a bring me the you choose between bring me the Horizon shirt and this black nail polish. What do you want to get for your jeans?
Lucas has a good one. He's Minecraft Halo crossover because it's like QP. Stop hardscoping. I don't know. I know this is Derek Anderson, and he was in the chat, but I don't know if he's still in the chat.
Doesn't see.
Yeah, or he was here with Lime Edition, so he was here for
Yes.
Green Ranger. So I'm thinking he's just taking it all in.
I think he did a great job with the helmet though. I like the shape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. And the visor looks cool.
He's just aiming for those pesky pigeons pooping in the pool.
But then he's looking in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
Because the yes. Aiming at Karen. Or aiming at the next picture.
Yes.
Whoa.
Ooh. Shots fired. Oh, do you see Lara's camera also kind of pixely?
I
Yes.
see yours, Pixley.
No, I see you. I see.
I see you both, Pixley.
Oh,
Oh, no.
Oh no! It's maybe Discord being all.
Yeah, but you don't see us anyway, so
Oh, that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah, I see.
This
us,
could be
but
like, you
yeah.
had enough time talking now, be
Yeah.
quiet.
bye.
You guys are so mean to these people. All right, are we ready for the next one?
Oh, there's one that we didn't. When you switch to low detail and your your bush cover disappears.
Yes. Poop gone. All right, and the next one is. It is
Yes, is it? Yes, there it is.
unimpressive Iron Man because not even the clown in the background is getting up and applauding. He's just like, he's just yes. He's like meh.
With the glasses on, probably looking at his phone, looking at other Iron Mans.
Why you
way
all up
better.
there?
Look at me. No, I'm on my phone. It's
No,
better.
no, I have. Mom, I want Iron Man, but we have already Iron Man at home. Okay, that's mean. That's really mean.
Oh, that's good though.
Oh, that was.
Well, that joke is originally from McDonald's. It's the
Yeah.
same concept.
Oh no!
I'll never see Iron Man in the same light.
Or McDonald's.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yes. But if you zoom on it so that you just see the helmet, that one hand, and the light, it kind of looked like that artwork of that two people giving hand to each other. That old one.
Yes. Yes.
Check out those boots beneath the boots. Yes, he's like,
Yes.
he has boots on boots.
Boots on boots.
The
Double
most,
protect.
Team double feeded.
the most funny thing on this picture, I think, is still the clown. Because the clown, he's like, yes! And the clown's like,
No.
I don't like being here.
Sad clown tears.
What if the clown is a judge?
Oh.
It's like, man, you didn't win.
W Cosplay said, a true story, I was fourth Iron Man on that contest. So the joke with the we have already Iron Man at home is the kind of
Yes.
thing, right?
He was McDonald's.
No, I think the stage guy, he meant like it's the stage guy.
I was fourth Iron Man on that contest. So there were 4 Iron Mans at that contest? Or is that not what you mean?
No, the newest comment, you know he was where is that McDonald's?
Oh, he was
think
MC,
he meant
the
the-
clown. Oh,
Yes.
yeah. I get you.
But why he's not paying attention?
I don't know. If he's an MC, he should know every contestant and be like, hey, that was great. Get ready for the next one.
Yeah. This is already our fourth Iron Man.
Hey,
Hey.
like
It's
you
like,
care.
He's like, here's another one. Yay.
And another Iron Man. Hey.
Yay. One Mark IV, Mia's Mark VI, and then Heartbreaker and Shotgun Armor.
Yeah, so at least not the same version for everyone.
Yes.
At
Yeah,
least
the
something.
Little
Oh,
Iron
he's the
Man
classic one who
3,
made it. Is it the classic one?
No,
he's
this
the
is
classic
the Mark
one who.
6. The Mark 3 is the one from Iron Man 1.
He's the Mark 6 one who made it to the contest. So he's.
Yes.
And I like the helmet.
And he
I always had to
and he
say
has,
something
And he
nice.
has an electronic wire beard.
Yes.
Yeah, that's when you
Trying to
knew
grab the stage
Arduino
light,
and
yes.
don't know where to go with all the cables.
Yeah. But yeah.
Still, not a bad cosplay.
Yes.
It's
I would
also-
it's so hard to like. It's easier for me to like roast Lara, or even you, because we've been chatting and you kind of get to know people. But this is like random strangers that you've never seen before. They upload it there for the purpose of roasting, but it's still kind of like you're being super mean.
Yeah.
But
It's
hey,
not
that's
feeling bad, right?
no, but that's why I want to try out. Just it's just all in good fun. I mean, I have no problem with like also giving the compliments. Like it's nice to make jokes, but it's still cool. I mean, still, it's an entire Iron Man armor. That's not easy. So
Yes.
praise the sun. All right,
I would definitely enjoy seeing that at a contest.
not bad for using. See, I knew it was Decathlon foam because I've used that foam and I thought I recognized the texture. Yes, the Decathlon foam, the open-celled shit foam. All right, are you ready for the last one? And
Yes.
I don't think that person is in the chat. I might be wrong, but it is
Cardboard Leonidas.
Cardboard Leonidas. Exactly.
I wonder if he's living at this house in the background.
Yes.
Yes.
This is duct tape.
Why is there like literally no one around?
I don't know.
It's
It's
weird.
probably his house. He spent all the money for this wonderful, gorgeous house in the background, so there was no money left for material.
Yes.
He has his duct tape sword and I think
Very
maybe
dangerous.
Adidas sandals, and when he's done, he's gonna use his cargo shorts for his tools.
I mean, even if the sword's not located in that shop, they wouldn't let you in at Gamescom with it.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
What
true.
is this, sir?
What's that out? Oh, that's just paper. You mean it's stone? Oh, okay, you can't go in with that.
Oh wow!
You can cut people with paper. You can't get it inside. No, no.
Lucas is
When I
saying-
was at the contest with my wizard, I had my wizard stuff, and I gave it to the weapon check, and that person was holding it and asked, "What's it out?" And I said, "It's warbler, a bit of warbler spikes on the outside, and the inside is just tin foil." And this person turned around, looked at a man, and said, "This is made out of hard wood. It's fully wood." It's like
No.
lies all in front of my face. So that's how they are.
Oh man, I mean the chat is way better at roasting than we are. That's for damn sure.
That's good.
Yes. Lucas is saying more like Leo not does. Wow, so lame. When you're at last day of con and 80% of your suit was stolen.
So you need to go in sandals.
Yes.
You get looted in the
Cosplay in the early 2000s before foam and warbler.
Yeah, kinda true.
Spartan C3PO.
Spartan Beta.
Does he have like a playing card in his face?
Yes, I don't know.
What does he have in his face
weird.
guard?
It looks like a playing card.
Yeah, right, the blue.
Yes.
Yes.
I love that his sandals are just standard store-bought sandals. He has his blue. He doesn't even get to pick a side. He's both blue and red in his shirts, so he can like switch sides really fast.
I think it's two shirts.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
It doesn't look like even, so I think it's indeed two
Yeah.
shirts.
Like a cosplay, no, cosplay event at 10, pool party at 12.
Yes. And that was the last one of the roast my cosplay segment.
Oh no.
We'll switch back to the best one.
Okay. To mine.
Oh,
Oh.
oh, it's me, Lara. Oh.
But at least I'm wearing blue sneakers, and not
Yes.
like green ones, or I don't know.
All right, and we're back in the image. Hello, guys, we're back.
Yay. Hey.
This was good fun. So we had Derek Anderson in the chat. He was the Halo guy. We had W Cosplay. He's the Iron Man guy. So thank you guys for sending us your stuff. So we should, for our next guest, they should also just, like, we want to roast you. It's maybe good for, like, have guests.
Is it okay if we invite you and say mean shit about you?
Oh, and then, by the way, yeah, it's Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine's Day to everybody who's in here. Just
Yay. I don't have anything. That's
No.
nice.
They're like, I don't have a date, so I'll be on date with Hot Glue is Hotcast.
I have these nice socks.
What?
Can you see them?
Yes. They match the rest of your outfit. That's all the colors.
It's the
they
Dremel
act-
color.
Yes.
No, they're actually purple,
That's
but they
really-
appear
Oh,
blue.
Yeah.
That's really weird.
Yeah, we all that's it still counts as your Dremel cosplay because as we see on your last picture from 2014, you don't care about what's going on downwards.
Oh,
There,
you want to see it? You want to see it
Yes.
again? Here we go.
No.
You have this thing for blue.
Yes.
Well, we did talk about with Dremel, they want to do like more shows and maybe some crafting shows, and in the video they want to make a video on their website maybe and make something. So we said to them, it's like, hey, you're gonna go into like this whole cosplay segment with stuff that like is intellectual property of others, so you might have to come up with something original. And then I just blurted out, and it's like, maybe you should make Dremel Man. So maybe we can make Dremel Woman, be like Lara, become all blue with gray armor.
wonderful.
Have rotary tools for arms, be like, whoa!
Be like, they have to work, and then you just walk around with those things on your arms and be like, "There's foam sheets."
Just cut them.
So yeah,
Yes.
Dremel superheroes.
That would be very cool because when you look at Dremel, they inspire you to see armor in it. If you pinch your eyes together.
I mean, they took notes. They had like this whiteboard, and they had like a whole stack of Post-its, and everything we said that they found useful, they just wrote it as like keywords, and they stuck it on the whiteboard in a segment where they classed it as needs further info, starter tips, events, and all that sort of stuff. So they're really looking into it. So, but they could have, it wouldn't even cost all that much from a business standpoint, from their business standpoint, like how big Dremel is. Even we could build it, and that they paid for it, and have some concept designs, and then they would have also a mascot and a costume for if they really want to attend more events like cosplay conventions, because they want to look into that. And then there's like this whole costume of armor, like Dremel superhero,
Dremel Man.
Dremel Man.
Like Faber-Castell did this last year for CCXP. They hired 5 cosplayers to like be the Faber-Castell color superheroes. Really cool.
Yeah, and I mean, for a company as big as that, one costume is it's easy money.
Nothing.
It's
Yes.
nothing. Exactly, it's nothing for them. So we have to raise the price a lot.
Agree. I don't do commissions, but I agree.
Well, I don't do costume commissions, but I'd happily do that for Dremel. Then I'll make an exception. If I can create, or if we can create Dremel Man, I'm down. I'd make Dremel Man.
That would be really cool.
Yes.
I hope the supervisor says, "Oh yeah, I want Dremel
I
Man."
want Dremel Man. Make it my size. I want to be Dremel Man. They showed us like, oh, we can make like the laser come from the chest.
I have to think on it, like when the null sector Einheit from Overwatch 2 was coming with those big spot, and there was this humongous burning thing coming out there, like you haven't I don't know how to describe this in English. It's too sad. You have to the tip of your rotary tool coming out and destroying all the material. That's the special thing.
Yeah, we have to think of abilities, and it's like his ultimate move.
Or just have an actual Dremel in the hand and be really weird and go around and destroy costumes.
Is this a cosplay repair point? No.
Oh my goodness.
Dremel ruined my cosplay.
We need it.
I fix everything.
Yes.
Yes, but that would be awesome though, Dremel Man.
Yes.
So somebody's sad Doomfist.
Doomfist Dremel Man crossover.
Oh, this huge Dremel fist.
That's a nice idea, though.
Yes. This huge giant arm, and every finger is like a different tool. Hey, who knows?
When is the
Yeah.
torch? Please let one finger be the torch.
Just fingertip like.
Who wants to seal their foam? So, how long have we been busy? Are there other things we want to discuss? 'Cause how long have we been busy?
Almost 2 hours.
Oh, damn. And we have
Nice.
15 viewers now. I mean, I'm sure some left and some joined later, but we have 15 now apparently, so that's nice. We broke a record again.
Yay.
The Swiss have their army knife. You guys will have Dremel Man. So, Finn, how did you? This was the first time for us to have a guest, so for us it was a new experience. How did you find it? Do you have any questions for us? Topics you want to share? What are you working on now for the audience to know?
I actually crunched Overwatch 2 Genji, and I just have to do the swords now, but at this moment, for this weekend, I just take a break.
That's very important.
Yes, absolutely. I did the Xenogri, and then I did Overwatch 2 Genji, and that was stressful because I wanted to finish them both for Epicon and get the Xenogri contest ready. And that was stressful. So I'm going to Berlin to a concert tomorrow, so this weekend is just the chill.
Nice, and that's something that's also very important. You have to like really take time to not always
Yes,
crunch.
I agree. I once read on a cosplayer's page said even when you take your time and just relax, it's progress. It's progress on yourself of preparing to go back into the workshop and get the stuff done.
It's very true.
It's the best example is when you go to the gym or do sports. Muscles grow while you rest. Yeah, and that's the same for us. We grow while we rest.
That's a good comparison.
Yeah. Oh,
Great.
big wisdom. No, but it is also one of the reasons that I am really hard against con crunching, because I think at least for me, my quality suffers I have a lack of sleep then. Con crunching is always leading up to a convention, and then you're there with a costume that I'm not happy with because I rushed it, and I'm tired, so I'm not enjoying it. Like we said, like, you're not energized, and I just don't have a good time then. And
Yes.
so I did it a few times, and every time it didn't work out. So I'm going in like, oh, like we have Dutch Comic Con coming up. If it's not finished,
Not finished yet.
no, then it will be the next one. It's like
Yes.
I don't care.
Yeah, that's so healthy. That's so freaking healthy because it's just not very I would say organic to do a custom crunch it and then never wear it again because you think you just look like shit. It's not presenting your work very well because the quality is not good because of the crunching. That's
Then
very healthy to hear that because we all have to stop to think that people expect something from us. They do not expect anything. You just expect it from yourself.
yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah.
like I have to finish this for the next con. Why? It's like
Yeah, absolutely.
maybe for a contest, okay, I get it, but you yourself signed up for that contest, so it comes back to like you only do it for you. It's not that stranger who wants a picture. That stranger will want a picture if you're in your new cosplay or your cosplay from last year or last month. That person does not care. They see a cool cosplay. Can I have a picture? And it's not like, yeah, I just don't do it anymore. I was like,
Yeah.
if it's done, it's done. If it's not, meh.
Yeah. I set this as a goal for myself for this year. I want to do less of projects and have them all in better quality. That's a wish for myself. Also, take more time of what you're working on right now to get the quality better and surprise yourself with how good your quality can be if you just take your time.
Yeah, they're saying in the chat now as well. It's like Captain Con Crunch. Yes, that would be also a good costume. Winning with a Con Crunch cosplay makes me feel weird. Anyone else went 4 weeks, 3 hours of sleep? Like, yeah. Yeah, that shit's no joke. Never crunching with love. Hours of sleep for a contest again. Yeah, I had my most horrible one. We can maybe finish with our most horrible con crunch because I think we all con
Okay.
crunched at some point. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
My most horrible one was with Iron Man Star Booster. Somebody in the chat was actually at my place when that stuff went down. I was still working on the booster system, and it just didn't want to work. The whole costume was finished. The thruster, I wanted to get it working, and I didn't even sleep. I just worked around the clock. Everybody was who went with me to DCC that year was in my apartment just having fun and chilling, and I was downstairs because then my shop was still downstairs in the basement, and I was just crunching it the fuck out. And in the end, it was, I think, maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours before we went to DC. It was finally done. It worked. Like everything, the electronics, the helmet, everything worked. I went there. A friend of mine had a booth there, and I was signed up for the competition. I put everything in crates there. I hooked up the gas tanks and everything. But because of the lack of sleep and me not paying attention, I didn't connect everything right. One of the hoses broke off of the tank, and because it was such a high pressure, it tore all the cabling on the inside of my costume all loose. So none of the electronics worked anymore. I had huge gas leaks. I had freezer burn because of, like, it's the cryogenic effect. So it all went to shit. The costume itself still looked fine, but the electronics didn't work. And that came after, like, no sleep, literally no sleep, and only work, crunch. I just was defeated. I was like, I can't. So I went up to the stage before the contest started, and I told him, like, yeah, I'm out. I'm here with my costume, but it's failed. I was like, oh, what's wrong? And I told him the story, but like, oh, your suit is still fine. It's just electronics, so you can still enter. It's like, no, I refuse to enter because I wanted to debut that cosplay fully working, and not like without the electronics. And then I was like, I'm never doing this again. It's like the con crunching. That was such a huge blow to the face that I threw everything back in a crate, and I was just like, I'll just enjoy what's left of the day. And that was such a bummer. That was my anti con crunch life changing event.
My most horrible con crunch was Vulgrim, because I effectively only had like 5 weeks to make it, because I waited for materials, I needed to go to university, and then I had 5 full weeks where I could work on it. And then, like, in the last week, like literally 4 days or 5 days before Gamescom, the costume wasn't even half done. And I like asked everyday people to come over and help me. It was horrible. Like, I didn't really sleep. I only ate McDonald's. Yeah, it was not good.
I remember that photo of you like painting in the shower.
It was just for fun, but yeah. Because I wanted 10 minutes of fun.
Yes. But yeah, that took it out of you. I mean, Lucas, Distro Creations in the chat, he was even there also helping you, right? Yeah. And then you were still coming to my place also for the electronics. You went all out on that one. Yeah.
That was hardcore.
yeah. Lucas is saying, so I was present for both of your worst crunches, at least partially. Yeah, he was there for both of our. Damn. Yes.
Lucas, you are a true friend.
Yes. So, Finn, share us your horrible con crunch story.
My horrible con crunch story was my second cosplay, my barbarian, and the first crunch was for a photo shoot, and we was meeting up with the photographer at, I think it was 11 in the morning, and at this time I was just sitting there and gluing all the pieces together. I was gluing my eggs together, and I made some gigantic big slip-in glove hand stuff where the X is inside, and nothing of all that was working out. So I just pushed safety pins and needles in everywhere. And my friend who helped me to carry the stuff for the shooting, she just stand there and said, "Okay, we can go now." And she grabbed the shoe and be like, "Ow!" And then I have one picture of that shooting where you can see one of the kneecaps hanging upside down, because there was 2 needles and only one was holding it in place, and then it went on this side. But that was my I think 1 month later I entered the Gamescom Blizzard contest with that costume. And there was that month where I repainted all the stuff. I repainted it all completely, and I changed up the glove hand stuff and the attachments and all that, and then it was working out. But all that took me that 1 month, and in this 1 month I was really crunching it hard. It was shortly after I threw my job overboard, and so I had this whole month, and I still crafted day and night on it to finish it. So yeah, that was my horrible story of it. And then in the end, because I had no experience of how it is to wear that stuff at a convention, because that was my first cosplay, I ever wore into a convention, because my Anubis, which was my first cosplay, wasn't wearable at this point. I could just stand there and look at it. And the Barbarian, my second cosplay, was the first one that was actually wearable. And I was walking in that thing, and after 10 minutes of walking, it felt like, whoa, okay. And then after we entered the hall, I got interviewed and from a woman, and I had the helmet on my head, and she started interviewing me, and I put off the helmet, and this heat from the outside and all the people, and it felt like I had to puke. Feeling came out, everything while she was interviewing me. I was standing there like, that was a horrible feeling. Absolutely
Oh my god.
horrible feeling. Yeah,
Oh.
that was my crunch story.
All good stories. Damn.
Yes.
I think there are so many of these type of stories that everybody has had their like horrible experiences and moments doing this hobby.
Yes.
All right. I think that's a nice time to end it, if you guys agree.
Yes.
Righty. Well, I want to thank our first guest ever.
It was an honor to be here.
Thank you for
Thank
joining
you.
us for over 2 hours, I think, already now.
Yes.
Best time of my life.
Oh, thank you. We had fun. We got mean. We got personal sharing stories. So
Maybe
nice.
next one you should ask people to send in memes and then you review on spot. They make their own
Oh, we
cosplay memes.
make roast memes. We have our own meme review.
Yes.
Cat.
Cosplay meme review.
Cosplay meme review. Yes. All the drama. I wanna. Yeah, the chat was really active again, so that's awesome.
Thank you for
Yes.
being active.
Yes, thank you for being active. Clap. Yeah. So I hope this whole new stream layout is kind of more fun, because on YouTube you never had the chat visible, and now the chat will be visible also on YouTube. And well, we got the follower notes. So if you don't follow us yet, please consider a follow, so you get notified next time, because we do post it when we go live. But it's also nice, and we have that new alarm bleepy thing where the woman pours hot glue on someone's chest, so you can see that too.
Yes. Follow.
All right. We will have a next stream in 2 weeks, probably, again. Maybe we'll have another guest, but we have to see. We have to
Yes.
ask people and see. There were some suggestions last time also, but we wanted to visit our original guest idea from way back. So it's good. Yeah, thanks for watching, and
Thank you.
we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
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 Oh!